This is a beginner's guide on how to use this Bolex 18-5 Super film projector. It is only for Super 8 film. It does not work with regular 8 film. Somewhere on the film, it'll say Super 8. It may be here. You can be tricked because this says 8mm. But again, somewhere along the lines, it should say Super 8. And again, the biggest, for this one, the only place it says it is right there. Hopefully you got this, a regular power cord, and maybe if you're lucky, you got this extra short one, which I'll talk about later. This one is not necessary. This one is needed to power this. Inside this is the take-up reel, which is going to be essential to using this. You're going to open it on the side with the silver sticker. The other side looks kind of similar in terms of it has that, but it doesn't specifically open up. To open it, you're going to turn this 90 degrees, and you should just be able to pull it off. Next step will be to raise each of the arms, and you're going to want to push that little piece forward. Close up of pushing that piece forward. Put on the pickup reel. You're going to just slide it over, and there is a little pin that you're going to have to find to get it all the way in place, and then you're going to close that. This is that little pin. There you see it. And that has to go in one of those slots. That is in all the way. This will close. Once you have that on, you're going to put on your film. The film is going to be hanging down like this, so you don't want it like this. The little holes in the film should face out. When you're lining this up, the same thing where this has a little pin, it has to go into one of the slots. And then put that tab on, and now you're basically ready to go. First, you have to put in the power cord. Turn it to the back. Your main long power cord should look like this. It goes in the bottom slot, and you're going to plug it into any outlet. The controls, this is pointing to up here. This half is basically having the motor run without the light on. It's kind of dark. Down here is where the light will come on. The lamp will come on. This is regular speed. This is kind of slow motion. The O is off. R is reverse. So with the reels off for demonstration, if I go like this, I should have motion back here. The lamp is not on. Off. This will make it reverse. Off. As soon as I turn it down here, you're going to see the light come on, and it will basically go forward. So light's still off. Now the light should come on. If I turn it down to 5, it'll go into slow motion. Turn it off. Reverse. The light is still on. Typically, threading this should be automatic. All you will do is turn this to M, not reverse, but to M, and then feed this into the slot here. And that's all you should do. And this is just a close-up of that slot where you're going to put the film. If you watch carefully, you will see the film slide up through here, go around the loops. Again, you can't really see it. It's kind of come up here. You know it's ready when this starts going a lot slower. I'm going to put it in forward. I'm going to put this in here, and that should be all I have to do. So it's moving, it's here. You won't be able to see it, but watch this reel. Watch it. In a second, it should get a lot slower. And there it is. It's much slower. I'm ready to project now. And ideally, this is what it should look like as the film's going through. Nice straight line, and it's kind of steady. So if it's working as expected, I can go from the black M to there, and you can see that it starts to project. You would be further away for a bigger picture. You can see that the image may be out of focus. By playing with that front lens, you can bring it into a nice clear focus. The way that you focus is by turning this ring. One possible fault with this is there is no fast forward. This is regular speed. This is as fast as you can go. A little bit of movement over here is completely normal. If I wanted to go to slow-mo, I could go down to the 5. And it looks like it's flickering on the video, but it's not actually doing that. Here are a couple of adjustments you might need to make. You can see there's a black bar here. That is not supposed to be there. So I want to adjust the picture. This is the dial that you are turning to get rid of that black line in the frame. Doing it now, and you're going to see it slowly move down. If you have the black bar on the other side, you're going to turn the dial the other way. This just helps advance the film a little bit. You typically won't need this. So this is the one to get rid of that black bar. If you need to adjust the image so it's higher up, you also have an adjustment right here. And if it's kind of tilted, you have an adjustment here. If I lift this up and I turn the knob, you should see the foot start to go lower. So I can kind of lift up the image on the screen. On the back, kind of right-hand side, you can also turn this dial, which will slightly increase or decrease the height of this foot, and that way you can help get rid of the picture if it's kind of tilted. You can see that the film is coming to an end. There's very little film here. So there it is, almost at the end. It's going to work its way through. And you can see it's starting to move faster, so I'm going to turn it off. So at this point, you need to rewind, and unfortunately, rewinding it is not as easy. So I've gotten the loose end, and I'm going to pull it over. And it's supposed to go over this post. And what I'm going to do is I have a slot right here that I'm going to pass this into. And it will kind of catch. And at least for the first couple of turns, I'm going to do it. I'm going to kind of make sure it's relatively flat. And I'm going to hold it. And I'm going to do this. I'm holding the film with my fingers at least as I do, I don't know, 2 or 3 turns. At this point, the film should be on there so that I can now go to rewind. And it will rewind. Okay, I'm going to turn it off. If you're watching the film and you want to rewind, you can do that by going to here and then to the R, and that'll allow you to rewind. This type of rewind is quite slow. You can rewind in the middle of the film. So let's say you got partway through this reel and you're like, I don't really want to watch this. I don't want to watch it to the end. You're not kind of stuck watching it to the end. What you can do instead, and this takes a little bit, swing this out of the way, bring the boot down, or that piece down, and you got to kind of work this out of here. For this side, you're going to lift this up and again work that film out of there. For the bottom part is like this, and then you'll be able to work your film out from here. And I'm going to make sure I don't twist it at all. And I think I do. I want to avoid twisting it, so I'm going to take this thing off. And there, I did like a 180. I'm going to put this over this post, and I should be able to rewind much faster. I'm not going to rewind with the light on. I'm going to go there, and I'm just going to go here. And this will be fast. If you have an issue with the lamp, first of all, you're going to unplug it. This is going to release the case. So you're going to turn this to the left counterclockwise, and if you do it enough, you'll be able to pull that off. This is the lamp. Apparently you can get a halogen lamp with a different mount. This is the one that I have, and unfortunately I don't have any information about how to switch out the lamp. I haven't had to do it, and I'm not going to play with it. There are a couple of other controls to be aware of. These are for centering the light. The manual says if the light in the video frame is not evenly distributed, you can use this to adjust the lamp left-right, and this one to move it up-down. I had to make no such adjustments. You can potentially change the voltage here. I'm using this in a home that has 120 volts, which is, as far as I know, typical for the US, so I'm going to keep it at 125. There is no 120 setting, and the directions say to go above the voltage. So I have 120, so I'm going to go up to 125. If you have no movement of the motor, one other possible thing to troubleshoot is a fuse, which is attached here. I haven't taken it out, but I think you can. It says you can twist it. I think you push it in and turn it to the left, and you should be able to get the fuse out and see if that is no good. And if it's not, try to replace it. I have had occasions when the reel will suddenly stop. If that happens, most likely this is the issue. So if you look right here, the film is kind of buckled, and that is no good. That's what stopped the film. This little piece here should not be like that. The first thing that you're going to want to do is pull the lens out of the way. That'll allow you to move this piece more. Here again, you see that loop that shouldn't be there. What I'm going to do is pull this down, and actually that time it kind of sprang right back out. Let's see if that'll work. Hopefully what you can see is this is much smoother now. It's not bowed out. That should work. Let's see what happens. Actually, no, it's not up the way. I'm trying to close it. That means that this is not closed all the way, and I can see now I have the film twisted. So if that, there you go, that should probably, yeah. So if it doesn't close, that's telling you something, that you don't got the film seated right. And I'm still not completely sure I have it exactly right. Let's see. It can be challenging to get the little holes in the film into that sprocket. That's what I'm messing with here. That's a little bit of a challenge. So I think that's it. Let's see. And I'm going to just go forward and see if it works now. Yeah, okay, so that's working. There you can see the film a little bit better and it's straight. It's not bowed out, so that should be good to go. If you do happen to have this shorter cord, this is how it's used. Again, this is optional. You definitely don't need to have this to use the machine. Finally found a manual, and it said this: use the short lead for connection to a room or table lamp, which will then be switched off automatically when the projector lamp is on. So it clearly fits in the back here. I have all the other lights on the room off, and again, the light is plugged into that little short extension cord. When I turn this on, as soon as I go to the lamp, that's what happens. So the camera now is on projecting, the light turns off. And as soon as I turn this back to here, the light comes back on. You might wonder why I would do that. I have fumbled around where I went to turn off a light in a room that isn't right on the table like this one is. And so I've walked, a handful of steps to turn off a light, and then I kind of, again, fall and trip all over myself as I come over in the dark to the projector. So if I had this thing plugged in at a distance, I come over and I turn it on, the light turns itself off, and I am ready to watch. So this is a trimmer that is on the inside of your cover. Here's the cover. That's where it's going to be. You can kind of pull it out. This is used if the leading edge, the edge you're going to put in the camera, is in any way bent. This is actually okay, but just to show you how it works, you're going to put this in here. Actually, I got upside down. There's two little dots here that I can put the openings in the film on. So I have that, and now I can simply do that. And again, I cut off a teeny piece. You're going to probably cut off a larger piece. There you see I got a nice sharp cut in between those sprocket holes. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please consider subscribing just to help me out, or at least a thumbs up. Thanks for watching.